It was a classic rivalry battle, and we came out on the losing end. And I don't think it was because of effort. I was really pleased with our intensity, our effort, our hard work. We finally came out matching the other team's effort. Crowd was terrific. I think what it came down to was that we're intangibles. It was the loose balls, the rebounds that you have to get. Not making a foul there on that last one when you get a guy to miss a shot and you get the rebound, but we fouled the guy. So I'd like to blame it on youth, but I can't. We got to start executing. We're not young anymore. We've been through a lot of wars, and if you want to be good, you have to win games like this, especially when you have a sold-out crowd and you're playing against a team that's fighting to get to the NCAA tournament. So with that, I'll open it up and let you guys ask some questions.
Take us through the final possession there.
It worked out exactly the way we wanted it to. I figured let's use the last timeout to try and make him miss the foul shot. And by the way, that kid's like a 50% foul shooter. It seemed like he made every single one of them except that last one. And we got him to miss, and we got a shot at it. We had called a play in the huddle to get it. The way we saw it was if he made it, we were going to go for a quick 2, have to foul again because we'd be down by 4. If he missed it, we were going for a 3. It worked out exactly the way we wanted. Had a wide open look. Charlie Barton ended up being the guy open, but that was a shot that I would have. Of all the guys who were out there, any of the 4 who we had, other than I think Joe Burton was out there, because I subbed for Devon, could have taken that 3. So it worked out almost exactly the way we wanted, because we knew they would overplay our best shooters, and Charlie had a nice little look at it, and it just didn't go down.
Devon Collier coming back when it looked like he'd be done. What kind of lift did that?
Well, that was big for us, and you know. It's starting to show a little leadership on this team. I mean, he could have easily decided, my knee's sore, let me just not go back in. But he wanted to be in that fight, and it was a lift for us. He's important for us. He gets big time rebounds. He can score in the paint, and he defends his man well, gets block shots. So it was really a lift for us to have him back in the second half.
You've had some tough losses this year. How does this compare?
Well, you know, it's like the way I look at them, they get worse. I mean, you know, you would have thought the 4 overtime loss would have been the worst, but each time you get close, it gets harder. So my job is to keep these guys' confidence up and have them understand that we're not that far away from competing with absolutely everybody in this league. I really like the fight in these guys. I like their preparation, and I've got to work on their execution.
Seemed like Garrett Sim was getting away from you a couple of times there in the game. How frustrating was that for you?
Yeah, it was very frustrating since it happened on the very first play of the game. I mean, you know, that's a frustrating thing because we know how good he is when he's left open. And but give him credit. He played a great game. We had done a really good job on him the last time we played, so we were really focused on not letting Joseph go crazy on us. And I thought we did a great job there, but we it's like the proverbial balloon. You squeeze one in and the other one comes out, and Sim kills us.
I know your guys seem to come back and practice really hard and things like that after tough games, but do you say anything different to them this week? I mean, that's third or fourth close game that you guys have lost. You think that affects their psyche at all?
No. I actually, funny enough, think that they're learning what they need to do. I think they're learning what they need to do. You know, I could take a lot of the blame because we didn't have very many tough non-conference games. You know, we got sort of baptism by fire in the conference, but no, this isn't a time for them to be down or for me to be down on them. I've said this a million times. This is a work in progress, and we have taken, I think, a nice step forward, and we don't want to lose the confidence that we have. What we want to do is we want to keep shoring up our shortcomings, which that's my job to do.
I'm not trying to take money out of your pocket or anything, but how big was that call on Eric when him and Olu went for that rebound at the end there?
That was big, and you guys know I never blame the refs for our game, but that was a poorly officiated game. I mean, when is Jarrett Cunningham going to get treated like one of the best guys in the conference? I'm just waiting for that. So I'm probably getting myself in trouble here, but Jarrett does not get treated like one of the best players, and people are allowed to bait him constantly and to bump him constantly, and maybe I have to take it to the higher ups or something, and I'm not one of those guys. I usually want to work on my team and work on our effort, but Brandon has managed to get me in trouble here. I'm going to blame you for this if I get in trouble. Yeah. I thought Ahmad tripped and fell into him when he was trying to stop himself. That's what I thought, but I have to look at the tape. I don't even want to get into that one. I don't even want to get into that one. What I want to get into is why the refs are worried about my radio guy. That's what I want to get into. Yeah.
Not to take more money out of your pocket, but in the first half, and I think Cunningham got his third foul on the double technical.
Yeah.
That was in front of the bench. Did you see what happened there?
I didn't, but it doesn't matter. He shouldn't be involved. He wasn't even in the game, so he shouldn't have gotten involved there. But there's a lot of frustration when you can only play 9 minutes in the first half, and you're considered one of the elite players in the conference. As far as I'm concerned, our season's not over. So, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. But as we get better, I suspect we'll get better treatment.
It's kind of along those lines, but it was a very physical game, obviously. How do you think your team handled the physical nature of the game?
Listen, it was 74-73. I thought we handled it well. I don't think the physical nature of the game cost us the game. I think that the little things cost us the game. The little things that you have to do. You have to make foul shots. You have to get loose balls. You have to get rebounds when you have to get them. You have to convert when you get steals. I mean, we're a steals team, and if we don't convert on those, that takes away some of our offense. All of those are what we call intangibles, things that you really can't run a practice drill for. You just sort of gain the experience through the school of hard knocks, and we have to get better at it.
Can you put your finger on a reason why the loose balls? Because I thought that as well. Like every single one seemed like it went to them. Can you put your finger on maybe?
Now, I can't. If I could, we'd be working on it.
What's the problem with Mike Parker? What was the issue?
I don't know. But all I saw was that he was talking to him. I mean, I'm sure he probably was excited about a call. But I mean, come on, really? Talking to the radio guy? You got to be kidding me.
You guys split with your rival.
Yep.
You've seen them twice. How good do you think they are?
I think they're a very good team. I mean, the way we talked about in our scouting report, their top 9 guys could be starting. That says a lot. And correct me if I'm wrong, are they all juniors and seniors? Some of these Oregon guys who are in the Yeah, so and Sims a senior. I mean, they're a veteran crew. They're 9 veteran kids. Lloyd might be a sophomore, huh? Is Lloyd a sophomore? So Lloyd is the lone sophomore in that group. So, but all 9 of them could start. So, I think they're a really good team.
Were you happy with the way the first half ended, given the fact that Collier missed a lot of time and you had some foul trouble?
I did, Curtis, and thanks for getting me back on track here. I was stunned that we were not down by more with Jared with 3 fouls, Angus with 2, Eric with, and Angus might have had 3, Eric had 2. I mean, it was, our whole starting lineup in a very physical game was in foul trouble, and we almost, if it wasn't for that last second shot at we would have had the lead. So that says a lot about the other guys on our team who were in the game battling away. So I was very pleased with that. It's hard for those guys in the locker room to be pleased with anything because they want to win the game. But those are the kinds of things that I'm going to have to remind them of while I'm showing them the tape and getting on them about the bad stuff.
And I believe you're down 11 with about 3:40 to go, and you make the big comeback. Can you talk about that effort down the stretch?
Yeah. One of the things about changing a culture is that you have to change the ability. So how do I want to articulate this? You can't get used to coming back all the time because that's all you've done. I mean, our first 3 years here, we had the games we won, we came back from. That's it. So we're really good at coming back, but you can't put yourself in that position all the time when you're playing against the top echelon in the league. You gotta be able to get out in front of them and make them come back. So that's all learned behavior. I think we're getting better at it, but we're not good enough at it yet.
Seemed like you had to substitute Angus down the stretch pretty much every possession defensively because of the foul trouble. How much does that hurt him on the offensive end?
Well, it hurts because he misses some possessions because he's on the bench. But the way that game was going, the last foul they called where they said they hit him on the head, I saw that was a clean block. If the guy had gotten hit on the head, he would have fallen down or he would have been grabbing his head. So when he's on the bench and we have to do that offense-defense thing, you end up missing a couple of possessions because there's not always a dead ball every play where you can insert him back in. And it's a shame, too, because he was having a really good night and really kept us in the game with his play, both offensively and defensively.
Continuing with the foul talk, do you feel like some of the foul trouble prevented you guys from getting some of those loose balls or some of those turnovers you normally get?
No, Phil. No, I don't think so. You get loose balls. There were rarely fouls called on the loose balls. You know what I mean? There were rarely any fouls called in those situations. The calling of the fouls and the lack of calling on the fouls are strictly judgment by the guys who do it.
Sims said that he started to feed off the crowd a little bit every time they booed him and stuff. Did you sense any of that with him?
No, but for good players, they usually feed off of it. I mean, good experienced players, crowds don't bother them. They just come to work every day and do what they do.
Towards the end down the stretch there when you said, right before Olu shot the 2 free throws, did you think about, fouling, maybe extending the game, or did you have in your mind, like, we're going to play defense and take whatever?
Well, there was enough time to do what we did. I mean, we ended up getting a shot to tie the game at the end there. I think the spread was like 8 seconds, or I can't remember what it was, but we thought that nobody ever takes a shot with 1 second left on the shot clock or let it run out. So if they had let it run out, it looked like it would be 6 seconds left. That's enough for us to get a shot. What we didn't bank on was the foul call on the rebound and giving them a 3-point lead rather than a 2-point lead. Because if the 2-point lead, then we do almost the same thing we did, and we tie the game, and we're still playing maybe. Anybody else? Yes. Go ahead. You don't need the mic. I'll repeat the question for you.
Okay, awesome. You want to talk a little bit about after Ahmad's foul there, and then the one intentional foul that they called, and then after that, Sims made the free throws. Ducks went up 71-60. Did you guys think you were done at that point? I mean, what was it seemed like it was kind of that straw that broke the camel's back, but what was?
No, because it turned out it wasn't. The question was once Ahmad made the foul and they got the intentional foul and the ball back, did that lead seem insurmountable? Absolutely not. No lead is insurmountable with this team. I mean, I think these guys we don't have trouble scoring the basketball. We've had nice offensive firepower all season long. It puts you up against the wall. That's what it did. But we didn't think we couldn't do it because we did come back. I mean, we were, like I said, one play away from, possibly winning the game if they don't call that foul on Eric in the end. Now, you don't want to cut it that close, but, unless we're down 15 or something with 3 minutes or 2 minutes to go, it's hard to come back just because you just don't have enough time. But with 3-pointers and fouls and fast guys, you hit a couple threes and it becomes an 11-point game, becomes a 5-point game.